I knew something was wrong the moment I reached for her hand, and she pulled away as if my touch burned her. "Don't touch me," she snapped, her voice sharp enough to slice the room in half. "I have self-respect." She said it with this strange mixture of disgust and pride, like the very idea of me wanting closeness was beneath her. And the worst part was that she didn't even look angry. She looked disappointed, like I'd ruined something sacred just by loving her the way I always had. I lay there beside her in the dark afterward, staring at the ceiling while she scrolled on her phone, the screen lighting up her face every few seconds. She turned away from me, curled into herself, as if the wall offered more comfort than I ever could. I didn't say a word. Lately, every word I said seemed to irritate her anyway. But that moment, her flinch, her tone, felt like the final crack in something I'd been pretending wasn't already broken. It wasn't always like that. I used to be the person she called when she was excited, or stressed, or just bored and wanted to hear my voice. We used to collapse onto the couch together after long days, her legs over mine, her head resting on my chest. Now she sat opposite me, scrolling, sighing, shaking her head at jokes I didn't hear, at messages I wasn't allowed to see. The shift had been slow, like fog rolling in at dawn, until you realize you can't see anything clearly anymore. I noticed little things, her getting ready longer for work, wearing perfume she hadn't touched in years, smiling at her phone in that way people do when they're being seen by someone who isn't you. But then she'd snap at me for asking harmless questions, accuse me of being insecure, controlling, paranoid. I believed her. Or maybe I wanted to believe her. It was easier than accepting that the woman I married might consider me replaceable. That night, after she rolled away from me again, her phone buzzed. It was late, almost midnight. She always kept it face down, and she reached it before I could even turn. She typed something quickly, then tucked it under her pillow. I told myself I didn't want to know, but of course that was a lie. Curiosity doesn't hurt as much as the truth, but it pushes you toward it anyway. I waited until she fell asleep, her breathing even and shallow. I didn't check her phone. I wasn't brave enough for that kind of confirmation. But I remembered something else. Our phone bill. We shared it. She probably forgot that part. I slipped out of bed, padded into the kitchen, and opened my laptop. The bill loaded slowly, the way all devastating things do, as if giving you one last chance to change your mind. When the detailed call log finally appeared, I felt the air leave my chest. There were dozens of calls, late-night ones, each over an hour long. The same number every time. A name I recognized instantly, Daniel. Her coworker. The guy she said was just funny. The one she insisted, makes the long days easier. The one she told me I didn't need to worry about because he's married, relax. The surge of heat in my chest felt nothing like anger. It was the kind of pain you feel when something inside you rips clean through. I stared at the screen while my hands shook, scrolling through days and nights of conversations I never knew happened, private moments I'd been shut out of while she slept next to me like a stranger. It wasn't even the calls that hurt the most, it was the implication. She was choosing someone else to confide in, someone else to laugh with, someone else to share the parts of her she kept hidden from me. Emotional cheating doesn't have the drama of lipstick on a collar or messages you can print out and scream about, but it kills you just the same. I wasn't sure what I felt, numbness maybe, or something colder, heavier. I closed the laptop quietly, went back to bed, lay beside her while she slept peacefully, while my world broke open under the weight of silent betrayal. She looked calm, rested. I wondered if those late-night calls were the reason she didn't want my touch anymore. If comparing me to him made me seem smaller in her eyes. If that was why my presence annoyed her, because she wished it was his. The hours until morning felt endless. I didn't sleep. I watched the window brighten with the early sun and made a decision so quiet it didn't even feel like a decision. More like a truth that had been waiting for me to finally see it. When she got up to shower, I stayed in the living room. I didn't confront her. I didn't shout, accuse, demand. I didn't need her explanations anymore. Explanations soften the blow. They make room for excuses. I didn't want excuses. I wanted my dignity back. I opened the drawer where we kept important documents and pulled out the envelope of divorce papers I'd picked up months ago but never had the courage to sign. I signed them now, my hand steady, my heart oddly quiet. When she came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, steam still clinging to her skin, I didn't even look at her. I placed the papers on the dining table with a pen on top, then grabbed the small bag I'd packed hours earlier. "Where are you going?" she asked, her voice sharp with confusion. "I'm leaving," I said. No tremor. No hesitation. She stared at the papers, her lips parting slightly. "What is this?" "Self-respect," I said. "The thing you said you had. I finally found some too." Her eyes widened, and for the first time in months she looked genuinely shocked. Maybe even scared. But I didn't wait to hear what she'd say. I didn't want her apologies or her denials or her tears. I didn't want anything from her anymore. I walked out the door with the kind of silence that only comes after you've broken in all the places you can break. Some heartbreaks echo for years, but some teach you something so clear, so painful, that it brands you forever. And mine taught me that love without respect is just slow self-destruction disguised as devotion.